I'm gonna be turning 18 soon. So since my birthday is coming around, I've been getting very reflective lately, and I came up with the list of 18 things that I learned at 18. I can't believe that I'm gonna be turning into an adult. It doesn't feel right, but before we get all deep and personal, I'm gonna go make myself a matcha because your girl needs some caffeine. I have my matcha, my journal, and my Squishmallow Paulita. Aww. And no, I did not name her Paulita, she came named Paulita. Anywho. So I wrote the list of 18 things I learned inside my journal. So the first thing that I learned at 18 years old is appreciate your current stage in life. So this one resonates with me a lot, obviously, because I wrote it. But it's because I feel like a lot of times in life, I'm always waiting to reach the next stage in my life. I never really appreciate the current stage in life that I'm in. For instance, when I was in middle school, I always looked forward to high school. And when I'm in high school right now, all I look forward to is university. And so I learned that it's really important to appreciate the current stage of life you are in because you're never gonna get this stage again. Once you leave the stage, you're gonna look back at this and be like, damn, I wish I could go back to this time, or I wish I didn't take it for granted. So the second thing that I learned at 18 is don't live for others, your life is yours for a reason. Because in life, we all unconsciously care a lot about what other people think. It's not like we even want to, it just happens. And I feel like sometimes, you know, when I'm making decisions or choosing things in life, I tend to overthink it and I'm like, what are people gonna think if I do this? And I feel like I'll unconsciously be like a people pleaser, which I don't want to be. I've also come to realize that even if people judge you, they'll probably only judge you for that 1 minute and then they're gonna go back to their own life. So don't even bother trying to please other people. And it's just like so stupid, you know, because you only have one life, so why do you want to live it pleasing somebody else? Just something to think about. Alright, number 3. It's okay to cry, have tantrums, and be angry. This year for me is probably one of my most emotional years in my life, just because of university applications, you know, being in my senior year of high school, obviously the pandemic's still going on. My mental health has been all over the place this year, and I learned that it's okay to have feelings. You have to process your emotions, you can't suppress everything. Keeping it in is even worse, and it's also okay to be angry. Your feelings are completely valid. I can't tell you the amount of times this year where I just closed the door and started punching pillows for like 15 minutes non-stop. Best feeling ever, I very much recommend it. But just make sure that if you're gonna release your emotions, make sure you distance yourself because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings just because you're not feeling the best inside, you know? So the fourth thing that I learned this year is that you are more capable than you think, and be proud of yourself. This year was the year where I learned that I'm a lot more capable than I think, and I've accomplished things that I never thought I could do. For instance, let's talk about university. This year I went really out of my comfort zone. I applied to an extremely hard school to get into in the United States. I applied without the intention of knowing whether or not I could get in, but I knew that I really wanted it badly, and I was gonna try my best to get it. And this school's like really competitive and hard to get into, and the program I applied to had like a 2% acceptance rate, and I worked my butt off on that application, and I ended up getting in, which I never thought would happen. And even though I'm not ultimately choosing that school, it's nice knowing that I was good enough for the best film school in the US. So basically what I'm trying to say is, if you put your heart to something, you try your best, you'll actually surprise yourself and realize that you're a lot more capable than you think in many areas of your life. So the fifth thing that I learned is stop dwelling over the past. The past is in the past for a reason. It's inevitable, you know, as humans we always reflect on the past, wish that you did things a certain way, or what would have happened or could have happened if I'd done something differently in the past. I realized that the past is in the past for a reason. It's something you can't control. The only thing you can really do is just learn from your past mistakes and move on, and you have to realize that your past is what makes you who you are. You wouldn't be in the current stage of life you're in right now if it wasn't for your past self. And if you know me, you know that I'm a strong believer that everything happens for a reason, and obviously that includes the things in the past. So stop dwelling on the past, appreciate the present you're in right now because the present is the present. Alright, moving on to number 6. Listen to your body and take care of yourself. So this year I learned the importance of taking care of my body. Whether it be something as simple as self-care or working out, I learned that it's really important to take care of your physical self. In terms of what I mean by like listening to your body, don't overwork your body, you know? If you're tired, take a break. It's okay to take a break, and that's something that I'm always learning. Personally, I really like working out. Sometimes even if I'm really tired and exhausted, I'll still force myself to do it, even though that I know that I'm physically tired and drained. And that's not taking care of your body, because when you're tired and forcing yourself to work even harder, you're just gonna damage it even more. And you're gonna be in your body for the rest of your life, so take good care of it, get rest, do self-care. So the 7th thing that I learned at 18 is count your blessings. I'm really proud of myself this year because I think this is something that I've gotten a lot better at. I definitely don't compare myself to others as much as I used to in the past. And when I count my blessings, I'm just a much more happier and content person. So a few things that I did this year that I really liked was I started journaling a lot more and taking notes of things that I'm thankful for each day. I kind of gave up with bullet journaling, if y'all know, because I don't got time and patience for that. So basically what I do each day that I really want to share with you guys is when I wake up in the morning, I'll write down 3 things that I look forward to that day. And then at the end of the day, I'll write 3 things that I'm thankful for. It can literally be the simplest things. I'll literally write like my oatmeal or like I like my outfit today. It can literally be anything, and I just think that counting your blessings is one of the best things you can do to really appreciate the life you're living. There's always something to be grateful for. So the 8th thing that I learned at 18 is it's okay to not know the future. So as human beings, you know, we obviously want to take control of our life and want to plan everything. I feel like I've always been like a planner mentally in my head throughout my whole life. I always like to take control of my life and how my future is gonna go. When I was younger, I was literally like, I'm gonna get married at this age, have this many kids at this age, be doing this, blah, 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 blah. Like doing the most. Really, you can't control it. All you can really do is just live life each day, fulfill what you need to do each day, and just take it easy. God's got your life in control. We're all gonna be okay, and it's completely okay to not know the future. What's the point of living if you already know your whole future? I think the best part about life is just not knowing and taking each step at a time. So the 9th thing that I learned is love the people around you. So during quarantine, you're stuck at home with your family like 24/7. And because I've been around them for like so long now, I realize that sometimes I take my family for granted. I don't appreciate them as much as I should, and I'm not the nicest. When you're around people for a really long time, you sometimes will get annoyed with them. And so this year I learned the importance of being thankful for the people around you. I'm so thankful for my parents, my sister, my friends, and it's really important to love them and show them that you appreciate them. So the 10th thing that I learned is nothing is as bad as it seems. Stop overthinking. I'm a real overthinker. I feel like a lot of people are. When things don't go my way, I'll literally spiral into a hole of overthinking. I can be so dramatic. For instance, in the past when I got a bad mark, my past self would be like, oh my gosh, my life is a failure. I'm gonna fail high school. I'm not gonna graduate. I'm not gonna go to university. I'm not gonna get a job. I'm gonna be homeless, and I'm gonna die alone. You're crazy, girl. Everything's gonna be okay. There's a solution to everything. So the 11th thing that I learned this year is trust your gut and instincts. I mean, I don't really have much to say about this one because I think it's pretty obvious. If something seems fishy, step away from it, you know? Most of the time, you're probably right. The 12th thing that I learned at 18 is the only person you can control is yourself. My dad always tells me this, and probably one of the best life lessons that I've learned from him. You can't control how other people act. Yeah, people can do things that really piss you off and annoy you. Obviously, sometimes you just want to smack them in the face. No, I'm just kidding. That's really intense. Don't do that. So that is an example of something you shouldn't do. If somebody makes you upset, the only person you can control is yourself. All you can do is switch your mentality. We all have the freedom to speech, freedom to our own opinions. So it's just really how you choose to interpret something. Stop trying to change others. Instead, see what you're doing wrong or what you can do better. So the 13th thing that I learned kind of just ties in with the last thing, and that is to focus on your own journey, not others. I had a similar point to this in last year's video as well, but basically my point is don't compare your life journey to somebody else's. It seems like there's always a reason why somebody else's life is better than yours. At the end of the day, that's not your life. You can't compare your life to another person's because that life wasn't meant to be yours. We're all unique, we're all special. God has a different plan for all of us. If we all had the same journey, we would all be identical, and I don't think we all need millions of clones of ourselves. Okay, so I accidentally skipped number 14 because I was blind and I didn't see it on my sheet. But anywho, the 14th thing that I learned at 18 is to be your own #1 fan. Cause you just gotta be your own hype man sometimes, you know? So the 15th thing that I learned at 18 is it's okay to take a break. whether it be social media, a school break. I learned that taking a break is very essential. Like this year, I've taken a lot of social media breaks, and I try my best to not go on it as much as I used to. Social media can be extremely draining and toxic sometimes. My throat is so dry. Number 16, don't jump to conclusions. Whether it be making assumptions about the future, about somebody else, about a situation, don't jump to conclusions, you know? You don't know how things are gonna go until they actually happen. Some things might not be as bad as you think. Some things might not be as great as they seem. You really just gotta see things for yourself and just truly experience it before you make a judgment on something. Number 17, you'll never know unless you try. This is another thing that, you know, I swear by. Always take a chance. If you just have the slightest desire to do something, whether it be the most crazy thing, you never know unless you try, and you never know what will come from a situation. You never know if you're gonna become friends with that person unless you say hi. You never know if you're gonna get that job unless you apply. So many things in life that you'll never know unless you do it. This way you just live with less regrets. It's like that quote says, you miss a million of the shots you don't shoot. Let me search it up. I got it. You miss 100% of the shots you never take. And the last and most important thing that I learned, never stop dreaming big. People always call me a big dreamer. I take it as a compliment. People are always gonna doubt you, look down upon you. You know, don't let them. If you have dreams to do something, you're gonna do it. Things might not happen the same time or way that you want it to, but I truly believe that if you want to do something, you can do it. People can take anything away from you, but the one thing they can't take is your dreams. Very cheesy, very corny, but it's true. If you want to be a world-class chef, I think you can do it. If you want to be a professional cheesemaker, you got this, okay? So those are the 18 things that I learned at 18. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really much appreciate you. I hope that you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!